Hey, what's up, guys? Is Conor McGregor the new Anderson Silva of... And what I mean by that is, he is a guy that people seem to be intimidated by when they get into the cage. Anderson Silva never talked shit when he got in the cage. He basically, like Eddie Alvarez when he came out, he was kind of like tentative, and he kind of gave off the same aspect of what Jose Aldo did, kind of like walked in there and was like, and I think Conor McGregor is the new Anderson Silva. He's beating people before they get in the cage. That trash talk is what's getting Conor to beat people up. He's beating them mentally before they get into the cage. And if you guys are a mixed martial arts fan, let me know what you actually think of this guy. Is he as badass as he is, or is he actually fighting people that are less than him? Because honestly, I really think that's what's going on. Is Conor McGregor is fighting guys that are lesser reach than him and have basically, they're wrestlers and they don't throw a lot of craziness. Conor is a very precision striker. He'll land like one good punch on you and he has a lot of power in that strike. And I think the reason why Nate Diaz was able to win the first fight, yes, Conor gassed out. In the second fight, he dropped Nate a couple times. And I'll say this, Conor is a guy who's improving. He's looking better and better every time he fights. But I'll definitely say this, when you look at a Conor McGregor fight, what is the difference between him and like an average fighter? He's making it look easy. He's the same thing that like I said, I think somebody like a Anderson Silva in his prime was making everybody look like garbage, and that's what Conor's doing. He's making everybody look like trash, and he's just beating them very easily. Conor McGregor is a 74-inch reach, okay, and most lightweights don't even have that reach advantage. They have like a 65-inch reach, 68-inch reach, a 9-inch reach, and I think Eddie Alvarez had maybe a 70-inch reach. And you know, that's not that big. It's a big difference when somebody's throwing punches at you and he's making it look easy. And they're saying his next opponent will be Khabib, which is this Russian grappler who can grapple you like nobody's business. But if he can't get it to the ground, he's going to be the same fate as what his opponent was tonight, which was Eddie Alvarez. He would just be in the same vote of not being able to take him down and getting beat up. And I think Eddie Alvarez didn't take him down because he had the pride of, hey, I can stand with this dude. I can take a shot. I'll keep coming forward. It's the same thing people did with Anderson Silva. They would never try to take it to the ground because they're like, oh, I can stand and bang with him. He'll do his bob and weave, and I can end up handling him. And then they would get kicked in the face or knocked out, and they'd go, wow, Anderson Silva made it look easy again. And that's the exact same thing that's happening. Everybody that's fighting Conor McGregor, he's making it look easy. The only difference is when he's fighting a heavier weight. When he fights 170, it's a little more difficult because he's fighting guys that are bigger than him. So that's, I think 155 is the ultimate weight class for this guy. I really do. I think Khabib is a guy that you've seen fight Michael Johnson and beat him on the ground and made it look extremely easy. But we'll have to see what happens, because Khabib is a guy who has 24 victories with no losses. I don't know if he was ever a champion in any other organization, but the dude is notorious for grappling people to the ground and dominating. And he fights out of the same training camp as Daniel Cormier and all those beasts over there like Cain Velasquez. So I'm definitely willing to bet if Khabib can get to the ground, that fight is done. I was saying the same thing. If Eddie could have took it to the ground, the fight would have been done. But it looked like Eddie Alvarez didn't really shoot for many takedowns, which I don't understand why he wasn't shooting for a lot of takedowns, which in my my MMA knowledge, the takedown is where his game is lacking. That's where Conor's game is lacking. You go, well, he tried takedown. He tried one takedown against the cage and then one in the middle of the cage. I would have threw a lot more leg kicks, a lot more other stuff, and try to bounce around and move around and try to get it into later rounds. Because Conor was doing the same thing that he did to Chad Mendes. And basically what he did to Chad Mendes was basically you kick him in the stomach. You kick him in the stomach and you use your left hand. And he's a very precision-based striker. So he's basically a very accurate striker. And he dominates fighters like that because he has a long reach. John Jones is the same kind of guy. He has very long reach. So his reach advantage is what wins him fights and wins him the battles. So if you have a guy with a long reach, they can sit there on the outside and just jab you, or they hit you with precision strikes. And Conor is very precision, basically meaning he's very accurate, and he's a very powerful striker, which a lot of fighters realize when they get in, they get hit, they go, oh my god, this dude just hit me that hard. And a lot of people don't realize how hard Conor hits until they get hit by him. And Eddie Alvarez, like I said, is a tough son of a bitch. A tough dude. But he made it look fucking easy, man. He made that dude look like garbage. He made a lot of guys look like garbage. And he made Nate Diaz in that fight kind of look like trash. But at least Nate Diaz is a bigger, stronger guy and could hang and bang and made it 5 rounds. But at the end of the day, what is next for Conor? Like I said, it's Khabib. Maybe you would have Cowboy Donald Cerrone come back down to 155 pounds and maybe give him a run for his money. I think Cowboy is better at 170, but I think he has the ability to take Conor and beat Conor because they're both very good strikers. It's just what Conor's doing is he's taking guys that are like stocky build at 155, 145 and beating them because he has long reach, and he throws flashy stuff like spinning back kicks. A lot. He's very precise with that left. I notice when he fights, he has that like bobbing and weaving down, kind of like a Anderson Silva. So he'll stand there and go, and then land the left. If you can get out of the way of the left, then you probably have a chance. But the best way to beat this guy is beating him on the ground, and that's my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think. And I think Tyron Woodley, I don't know what's next for that guy, but I think Tyron Woodley will be fighting. I don't think it'll be Conor McGregor because that dude would get hurt in that fight. But at the end of the day, Conor McGregor is a great fighter, one of the best fighters to ever fight. Am I impressed with his performances? Yeah. But do I like the guy and his cockiness? No. He thinks he runs the UFC. That's the way he talks. He talks like, kind of reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin when he would boss around Vince McMahon. Even though that was like a show, he would boss him around. And that's kind of the same thing that I'm getting and the same feel that I'm getting from Conor McGregor. He's just too cocky, and you need somebody that's going to shut him up. And Khabib actually called him a chicken and said, you're going to avoid me? I want to fight you next. You're going to avoid me? I'll tap you out. I'll beat you easily. And he wanted Eddie to win because he said Eddie would be a harder fight because they're both grapplers. But at the end of the day, I'm Trevor, and I'm a true mixed martial arts fan. Been watching since like 1996. So if you guys got any opinions, post them in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Khabib versus Conor coming very soon to a pay-per-view near you. Alright guys, I'm out.